So one day I was playing my favorite game in the world, Animal Jam, and I was doing the daily spin, but then I realized I hadn't logged in yesterday. How could this have happened? How could I have been such an idiot? But then I had an idea. Now this idea wouldn't solve my unfixable Animal Jam problem, but it would solve my boredom problem, which I guess is the reason I was playing Animal Jam anyway. Today I'm going to be taking whatever my mom colors and making it into a mask.
A few moments later.
Is that hyperpigmentation?
Alrighty, now let's take a look-see. I find a very interesting aspect of this design is the eyes. I asked my mom about it and she described them as reptilian. They honestly remind me more like goat eyes, but my mom said she didn't want them to look like that, so we're just going to draw them as is. Also, the ears with these blue lines in them are really interesting. They remind me a lot of Zach's ears, but if they were blue. The cheek fluff should be probably the easiest part. I've done multicolor fluff before, so that shouldn't be too hard. What I'm really worried about is these stripes, which may not seem too tricky at first, but they're going in like crazy directions, they switch directions constantly, and they're just genuinely really tricky. I've never done a pattern like this before. I suppose we should grab our cat mask. We're gonna first start with drawing out in Sharpie where we want to cut the ears.
You can take my ears, but you cannot take my liberty.
Alright, we've officially stolen these cats' ears, but we can add some new ones. But before we do that, we need to fix the spot on the head. To do that, we're going to cut a cardboard rectangle out. Then we're going to apply some hot glue onto the back of the mask along the lines of where we cut. Then we're going to take the cardboard rectangle and press it onto the hot glue. Then we're going to take our scissors and we're just going to cut off the excess here. And then we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Alrighty, once you finish that step and also have concluded your existential crisis, you can move on to the ears. You're basically just going to take a Sharpie and draw out the shape of your ear alongside the mask. Then you can fold your cardboard piece in half and cut out two of them at the same time. Then you can use your leftover cardboard and cut out the rest of the ear. We're basically just tracing the ear and then cutting out the pieces again. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue these to the ears. Nice and simple. Sorry if I'm not explaining everything super in depth. This video isn't really a tutorial, it's just kind of the process of making the mask. But anyway, I'm just going to stick the ears right on there and then we can move on to the felting. The felting of this mask is pretty standard, so I'm just going to give you guys a good old-fashioned time lapse here. But if you want to know how to felt a cat mask, I do have a tutorial about that. It's a little outdated and I do plan on remaking it in the future because my skills have improved since then, but go ahead and give it a watch. I still think it's an okay tutorial. Okay, now that we've got our mask felted, we can move on to the next step, which would normally be lining it, but since this mask isn't going to be for sale and is mostly just going to be put on display, I'm not going to line the mask because it would be a waste of materials. But we are still going to add our luscious, lovely fur. Do you guys know what time it is? That's right, it's Jeff, the evil mannequin. As you can see, he's extra angry, because he was supposed to be getting a makeover, but instead I decided to do this video. Let's hope I'm not haunted forever. We are going to start this mask by airbrushing pretty much the entire thing blue, minus the fur and ears. Inside of the ears, that is. This is a sped up version, but in real life, this took a lot longer to make. I also went ahead and airbrushed a couple tufts of fur blue, as the picture suggested. While I'm at it, I also went ahead and airbrushed the orange on the other tufts of fur as well. This is where it starts to get a little tricky. I started going in with the orange and started the meticulous process of doing all these stripes, but in hindsight I really should have started with purple. I realized this a little too late, but started going in with purple anyway. I also started to add purple to the tufts of fur below, and here's where I make the mistake of thinking blue is purple on the sheet. Here you can see me realize my mistake and start trying my best to go over the purple and dark blue, but it really didn't work too well. I really messed that one up. The waviness and the thinness of the lines makes it nearly impossible to go over. Sorry guys. As you can see, I start to add other colors to the fur and just generally do little touch-ups here and there. Here you can see me start to add the mouth. This also didn't go as planned. Even though everything went wrong with this mask, I actually think it turned out pretty cute, all things considered. Especially since my mom's design was really honestly super cute. I think it just is so charming. And I actually don't hate how this mask turned out. Here's one last look at the final product by itself. I think it's a little cute. I really like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day.